Hey guys, so I'm super excited to share with you a tool I've been using lately to get me automated appointments with people in my niche. So I've been focusing on helping solar providers. Basically, I help them reduce their cost of acquisition. I help them get more leads online, right? So the point is on LinkedIn, if you're not using it already, is a great tool because you can search out that exact person. If you're just doing kind of level one LinkedIn outreach, then you just search right here for the company, right? But level two would be to upgrade to Sales Navigator because then you have a more in-depth search. But the problem I found is it still takes a really long time to reach out manually every single day. It can take 1 to 2 hours, sometimes 3 if you really want to connect with 50 to 100 people a day. Because the point is you want to search, basically exclude viewed leads, type in a keyword there. So for me, it's solar, United States, and second connections. That's a key aspect right there because in the initial connection message, that's kind of your excuse for connecting. You say, it looks like we have some mutual connections. I'd like to connect with you here as well, if you're open to that. So that's kind of your reason for reaching out to them, right? So always include second connections. I don't usually recommend including third connections because that second connections grows as you get more leads in there. So like this has 1,000 new people since I've been running it just last few days, right? And so it'll grow further. But point is, you do that search, and if you're still doing it manually, then you'll reach out to each one. You can save it as a lead, but it just takes forever. So finally, I found this tool called the Prospector, which is really nice because LinkedIn is not a big fan of automation, so they usually block a lot of it. But this tool basically uses a remote server, and it logs in as me from a different computer, basically. And it goes in there manually, and what I do is once I've got that list, I import it to this tool, which is just a button right here. It says import list over here on the upper right. And it brings that list in automatically for me. And then once I click start, it basically reaches out to 50 to 100 people every day. It kind of keeps it different every day. So that way the account doesn't get flagged or anything like that for automation. And it sends that initial connection message, just mentions, hey, it looks like we have some mutual connections. I'd like to connect with you as well. Once they connect, it sends a welcome message, which is basically just says, hey, great to meet you, or thanks for connecting. And then it usually ends with a question like, I'd love to know how things are going with your current lead gen or something like that. So that way you open up a conversation. If they don't respond to that, there's another message that comes 3 to 7 days later, however you set it up, that kind of follows up with them. And so obviously, as you can imagine, if you're trying to do it all yourself, it can take just a ton of time. But one of the other nice side notes is, let's say you start a conversation after that first message, then the automation stops. So it doesn't keep following up with somebody that you're actually talking to. So everything's done for you. But let's say they don't respond after that third follow-up message, then it goes automatically to an email autoresponder. And that email usually starts with, hey, it was great to connect with you on LinkedIn, just so they know why you're emailing them out of the blue. And that way it's not like a cold email. And then you go straight to your sequence. The whole goal of that, at least for someone like me, is to get somebody on a call. If you have like a webinar where you're selling a high ticket offer, then the whole goal would just be to get them on the webinar, right? And then you can set up the automation so that way once they go through it, then the automation stops. But I just want to share that with you guys because it has saved me a ton of time. It's been getting me 3 to 4 qualified leads in the niche that I'm working in, as well as appointments on autopilot. I'm a huge fan of it because, if you know me, then I've gone door to door, and this is just one of those things that helps you not have to manually go out and knock doors. So I hope you found that helpful. If you have any questions, I'll include a link to the service down below. So that way you guys can find it and you can check out. They do offer an option where they'll do it for you, but I just did the option where I do it myself just because I like dealing with computers and stuff. But like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Thanks.